Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life, you better do the damn thing right.
Welcome guys back to the ShoeBenderPod. I'm so glad to have you guys back. Football's back today, guys. It is really back today. We got the Bills and the Rams kicking it off today. It's mainly gonna be a huge football show today. Mainly, I'm gonna pick out the divisional champs, who I think is gonna play in the Super Bowl. Talk about tonight's game, and then there's some sports news that happened within now. Before this video finishes, I'll definitely throw it in, sprinkle it in at the end. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely football's back, guys. I'm super excited, especially if you're a football fan. I'm pretty sure you're super excited. Everybody's rooting for their team. Everybody's hopes are high right now, unless you're the Browns or Jacksonville. But you know, yeah, it's a very exciting time right now. Football's back, guys, and we're gonna kick it off today with the Bills versus Rams. Like I was saying, this is gonna be a really good matchup. A lot of people actually got this matchup for the Super Bowl. It's actually not a bad matchup. I could see it happening, but you know, you can't just forget about the Bengals, who literally just, you know, reloaded in the offseason. But the Bills are definitely not a bad pick, man. I mean, they kind of pretty much match the Rams, you know, hit for hit, especially on the defensive side. You know, like they have their all-pro corner coming back in White, Tre'Davious White, who, you know, was a top 100 player before he got, I believe he tore his ACL. On the defense, you know, to match up against, you know, Ramsey for the Rams. You got Donald on the defensive line. You got Von Miller on the other defensive line. You got Edmonds at the linebacker for the Bills, I believe. Let me see. I'm pretty sure he's still there. Let me check for you guys. And then on the other side, you got the best middle linebacker of this decade, which has been Bobby Wagner. Man, that one really hurt, you know, because I'm a huge Seahawks fan. So, you know, a lot of the players that we lost, you know, it didn't really. Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds, he's still there. And then you probably got the best dynamic duo, safety duo with Hyde and Poyer back in the backfield. I don't think the Rams safeties are as good as the Bills. But, you know, you got Aaron Donald and Bobby Wagner and Jalen Ramsey. I mean, those are the three Hall of Famers right there, man. Like, let's be real. They're pretty, and you know, you can make an argument that they're all first ballot Hall of Famers. But you know, the Bills ain't no joke on their defensive side either. You know, like I said, they got Von Miller. You know, Ed Oliver is still there too. That defensive tackle from Houston. And then on the offensive side, you got some firepower there. You know, you got Diggs, you got Kupp, you got Robinson. Who else I'm over here trying to go off the top of the dome. Who the Bills have as receiver, but I know they got some good receivers. I know the receivers ain't bad. Let me see here. They got Tavon Austin. Damn, you know, if people don't forget about Tavon, he's super fast, man, like extremely fast. They got Gabe Davis still there. Isaiah McKenzie is a person that, especially, you know, if you play fantasy, a lot of people are saying that McKenzie's gonna have a huge year this year. So I'd definitely look out for that guy if you see him, because you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that they don't go a lot for the big name guys, and they only go for the big name guys, and they don't go for like the role players. So definitely Isaiah McKenzie's a guy that if you see him out there as a free agent and you're thinking about getting rid of a guy, he's a guy to have on your bench. He'd be really good. And then, you know, you got stable of running backs for both teams. Singletary leading it for the Bills. I feel like James Cook is gonna get a lot of looks this year as well, especially in the receiving end. He did that very well, very, very well at Georgia. And he's a really good player. I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting by the end of the year. And for those of you who don't know, James Cook is actually Dalvin Cook, the running back for the Vikings. That's his little brother, which I think is really cool. And then, obviously on the Rams side, you got Akers finally back fully healthy. At the very end of the last year, he just came back at the end. But even him himself didn't feel like he, was a productive enough. You know what I'm saying? So you got a full healthy Akers coming back. You got Henderson Jr. coming back. The offensive lines, I feel like the Bills have a better offensive line than the Rams do, just because I feel like the Rams, it was a real huge loss in losing what was his name? He was a Walter Payton. Just Andrews, right? Yeah. That left tackle. So yeah, that's a huge loss for the Rams, I believe. And from what it sounds like they're gonna get OBJ back, because it sounds like they haven't messed with his locker. It's still there, so it sounds like OBJ is gonna end up joining the Rams again once he's back healthy. But yeah, this is a great game. It's gonna be in LA. But what I think is crazy is that the Bills are actually the favorite on the road, which that's what I'm saying. Like, that says a lot about this team. Like, they're literally choosing you to beat the defending champs at home starting night. Like, that's a huge statement to make to the NFL world, So if the Bills do pull this off, I mean, it could really, really set off their season in a crazy note. You know what I'm saying? They could go into one of those rare forms where teams win like 10 games in a row and then they finally lose one here and there towards the end or something, But definitely, man, like if they're able to pull this win out today, especially how they do it, yeah, it could definitely give them crazy momentum. Me personally, I think the Rams are gonna win, just because history's proven that opening night defending champs, they usually win the game. Usually that game isn't the best because it's both teams' first games. A lot of the starters didn't play in the preseason, so some of the games, they could be pretty, up and down, or not the best games. But, it's football and it's back, and, it sets everything off for this weekend. But I definitely do got the Rams winning, and I got it a really close game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout or anything like that. I got it 23-20 for the Rams. I feel they'll win tonight, but definitely I feel like it'll be a great game. This is gonna be a really good game. I definitely do like this matchup. It's a really good one to kick off the whole season with. So now that we'll definitely switch into the divisional conferences, so I could let you guys know who I think is gonna win each division and in which conference. So we'll start off with the American Football League Conference, which is the AFC. We're gonna start off with the AFC East. In this division, the four teams are the New York Giants, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, and the New England Patriots. Who I think is gonna win this division, obviously, it's gonna be the Bills, just because they're the best team in this division. Literally, they really are. They're very well put, and they got the chemistry already. Who I'd finish having second in this would be the Dolphins, and then followed by the Jets. Followed by New England, and then followed by the Jets finishing last again. Just for the simple fact that New York, obviously they got the quarterback problem. Not that problem, but the injury to Zach Wilson, and they're still learning, man. They're a very super young team, but I really do like all the foundation that Salah's building over there, man. Or Salah, my bad. I really like what he's building over there. I really like that coach. I really do like Rob. Even though he played with the 49ers, he coached for the 49ers, I just had a respect for Rob. Like, you could just tell he's just a great coach. He just gave off that vibe to me. And I just feel like he's been drafting well, and then he picked up some pretty some all right free agents. At the end of the day, you need the quarterback to get everything going in the NFL world. Look at Joe Burrow. You get a healthy Joey Burrow, you go from a 4-win team to literally a play away from winning the Super Bowl. Like, a quarterback really does matter, man. And then again, Wilson, he's only had one season, and then he's hurt again. So we'll see what happens there. It's really too hard to actually kind of grade him off just one season. Anybody could have one good season, or anybody could just have one bad season and then rebound. It's just one of those kind of things. The the New England Patriots have finishing third, just for the simple fact, like, from what it sounds like their offense is just like all over the place. Like, they really don't know what's going on. Obviously they lost Josh Daniels to the Oakland. I mean, dang, see how I am? All being disrespectful, man. I'm so sorry, Raiders fans, but to the Las Vegas Raiders. He took off over there, so now you have to pretty much find, now you lost your quarterback that you had for like almost 20 years, and now you lost your offensive coordinator that you had pretty much for like 10 or whatever years. I just feel like there's just been too much movement around in that organization right now for them to actually just be steady. I think they'll be more organized and more together next year when they have the more chemistry together with all those guys. And then of course I got the Dolphins finishing second. They got all the firepower, man. I mean, if you look at that firepower that Dolphins have, like, they got a lot. It's gonna be a lot of trouble for a lot of defensive coordinators. I mean, you got two really fast guys in Waddle and Hill. You got a pretty good staple running back. I like the running back stable with Gaskin and all them. And then I think they added Raheem Mostert too, and I really like that running back because, again, Seahawks fans, so I watched him when he played with the Niners, and that guy's got a different set of speed, man. Like, if he gets going, he's gone. Like, I really like Mostert, and their defense is, I mean, it's all right. It's not the best, but it's decent. But that's why I got them finishing second. Because, their offense is definitely way up here, and then their defense is like right in the middle. So, that it makes it pretty hard in the NFL to win like that. It's really, it's those teams that have that balance. They're usually the great ones. But, it's their first year together as well. So, you can't, take that with a grain of salt. Who knows? They could end up finishing first because of all that firepower. Because injuries happen, people. People, like, I'm also making these predictions, as these teams are some of them are healthy. It's the NFL. Once you watch the NFL for so long, injuries, it's about to happen. Like, it happens, man. It's a violent sport. Our bodies aren't meant to run into each other like that, or into anything, if we're being real. So yeah, definitely that. So that's who I got winning the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills. We'll move on down to the AFC North, which I think is probably I think it's been the strongest division for like the past decade, man. This division has always been a very, very hard division just because of the physicality and the weather. You know what I'm saying? The weather's pretty crazy in the AFC North. And in this division, we got the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, and the Cincinnati Bengals. I definitely got the Cincinnati Bengals repeating, winning this division, which literally doesn't happen. I think I've seen the stat somewhere where the AFC North, like, there's been a different champion like the past like 7 years or something like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's weird. Like, it's just, there's always a different winner every year. So that lets you know how competitive that division is right there. But yeah, I definitely got the Bengals repeating, even though like history says, that doesn't happen. Just because I feel like I said at the beginning of the pod, that they got better. They got better. They had issues on the offensive line, and they fixed that. They go pick up a right tackle and then another really good guard in Kappa, and then I think it was Collins was the right tackle. So there you go, bam, you fixed that problem. You had a couple of players, I believe, on defense, and I just feel like they're really gonna ride that momentum from last season, because like legit they were right there. They were literally like probably like 2 seconds away from winning the Super Bowl, if Donald would have just gave Burrow that much more, just 2 more seconds, Burrow, I mean, he was already throwing it to him. He just didn't have enough, he just didn't get enough arm power, and having freaking Aaron Donald pinning your arm down out there to Jamar. But I mean, they were right there. I mean, I'm just not gonna gloss over that, like, for like a lot of people do. Like, they legit were right there. They legit were about to win this game at your home, and you were supposed to like pretty much dominate this team. Like, nobody gave them a chance, and they legit were about to beat you. Like, it's pretty wild. And so yeah, definitely got them repeating and winning that division. Followed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think eventually Kenny Pickett will start. I honestly give it till. I mean, it is just honestly me just being kind of like nice about it, but I think that he'll be the starter by week 4. And there's no shot at Mitch Trubisky. I just feel like the Steelers, honestly, they're just being more respectful to the veterans, because they are veterans, which is awesome of them, because they're an A1 organization. And so I just feel like they're just giving the veterans like their due. But I know deep down inside that they even plan on having Kenny Pickett starting here really soon. And and the fans are gonna let him hear it, like every fan base does when they really want to see a certain player in the game, regardless of position. And so yeah, and then obviously they always have a great defense. I mean, that's their thing. The Steelers, they're always known for having a really good stout defense. And yeah, definitely got to finish second division, followed by the Ravens, and then the Browns finishing last, just because they just got too much stuff going on that's not football related, man. And I don't care what anybody says, that affects any work environment, especially an environment like that where it's literally just a facility where it's literally just everybody right there, and something that big happens. Like, it's gonna mess up the culture, bro. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, the culture is probably pretty messed up in Cleveland right now. So it could, and there hasn't really been any reports that like that they've gotten better, that they look good in practice. But other than just the quarterback situation, they have a solid team, a super solid team. Like, I really like the Browns, man. Like, I really do. You got Clowney coming back to complement Garrett. You got Ward paid in the offseason. Like, they got a solid squad, man. They got some good linebackers up in there. Their offense is obviously good. You got Hunt. You got Chubbs. You got Cooper now. Who else do they have? I think they still got Njoku still there. I don't think he left yet. I think they franchise tagged him. I know they got more. Obviously, they got more receivers than that. No shit, right? They got Mari Cooper, Peoples Jones. Actually, I don't know. They got a bunch. They got 2 good rookies, 4 rookies, receivers basically. Damn. Yeah, they got a young ass team right now. But yeah, their main issue right now is their quarterback still. So that's why I feel like they'll finish last. And like I said, they just got too much stuff going on that's not football related. And then the Ravens, I got the finishing third, just because, I mean, the whole Lamar Jackson thing that's going on right now. I don't care what anybody says. I'm pretty sure he feels a little jaded towards them, just for the simple fact that it's like, bro, like, I legit like helped this franchise this much, and you guys are like second guessing me, basically, And there's probably been some stuff said in those meetings and those negotiations that probably didn't sit well either. But that's the way it goes when you negotiate. Business is business. It sucks, but that's just what it is. And so yeah, I just feel like they got all that stuff going on too, and then I just feel like they'll start off pretty slow. And it'll be pretty hard for them to regain back. We'll move on down to the AFC South, which is where we have the Houston Texans, the Tennessee Titans, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. In this division, I got the Colts actually winning this division. A lot of people would probably have Tennessee repeating in this division, but I don't got it like that. I definitely got the Colts winning this division. I liked what they added in the offseason and Matt Ryan and Stephon Gilmore to complement Ken Moore the third or the second. You got Buckner on that defensive line. You got Leonard in the linebacking core. They got a solid defense and their offensive line's really good. You got I think Ty Hilton's still there. I'm not sure. Let me double check for you guys real quick. I think he's still there though. There was rumors going around that Matt Ryan was recruiting Julio to go there, which he did think about going there, but at the end decided to go with Tampa Bay, which I thought was kind of crazy because you're pretty much saying like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm gonna go play with Brady. I don't blame you though. So you got Michael Pittman Jr. still there. Obviously USC fight on. Paris Campbell still there from Ohio State. Who else? That's pretty much all I remember. You got Patman still there. Got a rookie from UCLA. So yeah, and then they got a really good running back stable. Probably one of the best in the NFL. I mean, you got JT, the best running back in the NFL, Jonathan Taylor, and then you got Naheem Hines, and then Philip Lindsay. Like, man, like that's a really good. And that's not even all the running backs. That's just like 3 of them. They have 5, I believe. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, they have 5 running backs. So like, those 3 alone, and then behind the offensive line, and then that play action they could be running. Like, man, yeah, the Colts are good, man. And then I got them followed by the Tennessee Titans. That's who I got second. Losing A.J. Brown, I feel like that's a huge loss in the passing game, which was already not the best for them. And then you pretty much take away the best receiver. So that's the only reason why I got them finishing second, just because I feel like that's a huge blow to the passing offense. Of course, obviously they've always been run heavy, so they're going to just keep on running that ball. I mean, why not? You got a 7-2 running back, so like you might as well just run Henry as much as you can, because we all know that running backs eventually, their body does break down because they take a beating, man. There's a reason why Deebo Samuel said, yo, I hate playing running back, because he doesn't like taking those kind of hits. I mean, instead of getting hit by, linebackers, you're getting hit by, defensive linemen now. So yes, it's a little bit different. So yeah, I definitely think they'll finish second. It's nothing too crazy. Followed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then I got the Texans finishing last. I just feel like the Texans, they know they're just rebuilding everything. They're trying to rebuild the culture. They're trying to rebuild everything down there. So they'll probably be another top 3, top 5 pick for them. And just because they really have they're just like all over the place. Like they really don't have anything set with the Texans. I mean, they drafted Singletary, who I feel like was the best corner out of the rookie class. That's a really good building block for your secondary. So, he's probably going to be a shutdown corner for the next 10 years. So, you don't have to at least worry about that. You got one thing there. Let me actually check out their roster. But I do know, they don't really have anybody that would make you be like, yo, like, these guys are going to make some noise, But you never know. It's the NFL. It's the NFL, and everybody's a pro. Everybody thinks that just because, it's a certain team or a certain this, or they don't have that, or they don't have this. It's like, bro, everybody's a professional at the end of the day. So it's every game isn't an easy game. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, I got finishing third. Just because I feel like, it's first year head coach. He's building the program that he wants to, the culture that he wants to have there. Which I feel like Peterson does make a really good culture. Look at the Eagles; they're still running off that culture. So I just feel like he's gonna definitely make turn some stuff around. They'll definitely win more games this year. Instead of drafting that in the top 10, I feel like they'll be more of a mid, between the 11 and the 20 pick. But I definitely feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars will make progress this year. I mean, they showed some really good signs on defense last year. They showed flashes on offense last year. You got Travis Etienne coming back, and now you're gonna have him paired up with Robinson in the backfield. So that's gonna be a really good 1-2 punch right there. And then and then Trevor Lawrence is he's getting that experience. He's gonna get more confidence to make certain throws, to make certain decisions. Everything's gonna be faster for him, or as everything it's gonna be more slowed down for him. So it's gonna be cool to see his progress this year. But yeah, I definitely got the Colts winning that division. In the AFC West, I got which I think is gonna be the most exciting division to watch on the AFC side, just because of all the firepower, and the defense is just very well mixed in this conference. I mean, in this division. So in the AFC West, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, the Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, and then the Los Angeles Chargers. And I got the Los Angeles Chargers winning this division right here. I just feel like they're so good. Like, I really like the Chargers, guys. Like, I really do. They got the quarterback. They got the running backs. They got receivers. Their offensive line's good. You added Khalil Mack to complement Joey Bosa on the defensive line. That already alone is crazy. You pick up the best corner in the league. Some people are saying J.C. Jackson. And then on the other side, you have Asante Samuel, who's going into his second season. So he's coming in with more confidence, more knowledge. And then you got a safety in Derwin James that you just paid. They're stacked everywhere. I'm really surprised that a lot of more people are not talking about the Los Angeles Chargers, because they should be, man. This team looks really, really good. But I'll leave it at that. I definitely got them winning the division. Their division. I got the Raiders right behind them. This one was really hard for me just because I really like the Raiders as well. The only thing with the Raiders that made me not, really want to choose them was that their offensive line is going to be as good as the Chargers. But everywhere else, they're really good. They got a really good defensive line. They got a good secondary, stuff like that. The receivers, you had Devontae Adams, you got Hunter Renfrow, you got Waller, you got Jacobs. You had Zeus White back there from Georgia, so you got another bruiser back there. I mean, I really like the Raiders, man. But like I said, the only reason that I didn't choose them to win the division is just because I don't like their offensive line. I feel like Derek Carr is gonna have a huge season just for the simple fact that you're adding Devontae Adams, and I feel like Devontae Adams adds that much value. I feel like he really does make your quarterback a lot better, because he's gonna always be open. Like how awesome is that for a quarterback to know that, like, all right, it's 3rd and 1, or it's 3rd and 1, game's on the line, I need to convert on this drive to keep this drive going to score, right? And you just know that I don't care what happens in this play, Devontae's gonna get open. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just such a peace of mind for a quarterback, and I definitely do like them, and then they got some depth in tight end as well. But yeah, and then you add, on the defensive side, you got Crosby. Like I was saying, their defensive line is very well, because you got Crosby, and then you add Chandler Jones, dog. Like, people really underestimate Chandler Jones, man, because he didn't really play too much last year, but the games he did play, he destroyed everything. Like, I think he had like 5 sacks in one game. Like, he's a beast. Like, I've always liked Chandler Jones. I've always admired Chandler Jones, because he would destroy the Seattle Seahawks. Like, you can ask Russell Wilson he knows Chandler Jones. He knows CJ. And what's hilarious is, like, now, like, he left to go to the Broncos, and then Chandler Jones goes to the Raiders. So it's like, you can't get away from this guy, man. He's just gonna torture Russell for the rest of his career, bro. And so yeah, I definitely like them. And then there's rumors going around that they still might even pick up Ndamukong and Sue. So we'll see what happens there. Their secondary is all right. I'm looking at it right now actually, and it's all right. Their linebacking core is all right as well. But I feel like they got enough to finish second in this division. People would probably go crazy because they're probably like, "What? You got the Chiefs at 3 in that division?" And it's like, yeah, I do. I really do. I don't think they're gonna be as good this year. You lose your best receiver, who pretty much was the biggest decoy that freed up everybody else. So now everybody's gonna double team Kelsey, and if we've noticed that, when you're able to double team Kelsey, it really slows down that offense. It just slows it down. It obviously doesn't stop it because Mahomes is gonna be Mahomes. Yeah, but I just feel like Tyreek Hill was really that big of an X factor for them. And obviously they still got the running backs here, so that'll be all right. They replaced Tyreek with Juju. Shout out USC, fight on. And then Scantling from the Packers. I think Scantling's one of them big boys. He's like 6'3", 6'4", or something like that. But you gotta build all that chemistry with your quarterback, man. Tyreek Hill obviously had tremendous chemistry with Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick, there'd be times where he literally just threw the ball down there and he was just like, I know freaking Hill's over there somewhere, and he was right most of the time. And then on the defensive side, I feel like they lose a huge leader in their secondary, which was already not too strong as we talk about it. And the Honey Badger, who took off to go with the Saints, he went back home. And their linebacking core hasn't really been the best. Their defensive line, is pretty stout, with Frank Clark and then Chris Jones just wreaking havoc down there. Also Jaron Reed is down there as well, I believe. But yeah, I definitely got them finishing third just because I just feel like their offense is gonna kind of take a step back this year. Obviously they'll be back more next year once he builds more chemistry with his newer receivers. But I just feel like Tyreek Hill and then also losing the Honey Badger, that's a huge loss to them. And then last year also too, like they didn't really do anything to fix the offensive line. And I mean, we noticed that last year, the defensive lines were getting to Mahomes a lot more than they previously were. But that's what happens when you pay your quarterback, man. And then speaking of paying your quarterback, I got the Denver Broncos finishing last in this division. Everybody's hyped on the Denver Broncos. They think that just because they had a Russell Wilson, that's going to change everything. Denver Broncos weren't one of those teams like Tampa that like they were so good to the point that all they were missing was a quarterback. They got more stuff that they're gonna need help, that team needs help with. They need better linebacker depth, better defensive line depth. Their offensive line isn't that much better than Seattle's. Obviously it's better than it now because they've been there longer together. But the inside of Seattle's offensive line, I feel like, is better than the Broncos' offensive line, just because the tackles are rookies. That's the only reason why. But like like firepower wise, like I don't feel like the Broncos have more firepower, skill players on offense than Seattle did. So that's why I don't get why people are like trying to make such a big deal. Like, oh, the Broncos are gonna be so much better. They're gonna win the division. They might go to the Super Bowl. I don't see that. I really don't, because on offense, like I said, I don't feel their skill players were as good as the ones that he had in Seattle. And then he's also building chemistry with these guys. And then also, if Russell Wilson doesn't use his legs to get a couple first downs, it's never gonna be good, man. That was the issue in Seattle. Like there was times where Russell could have used his leg to get a couple first downs to keep the defense honest too, and he'd rather just pass the ball. That's totally fine, man. His decision. That's the reason why he's getting paid $245 million. You know, but me personally, there was a lot of times where that's what made Russell Wilson so great. When he first came out, it was that you didn't know what he was gonna do. If he broke the pocket, you had defenders rushing down the field because they didn't know if they knew he was gonna start running. And now it's just like he really doesn't do that. But like I said, it's a whole new everything for him. He's got a whole new offense. He's got to master and get all the timing and get all the routes for all these guys down. So yeah, I just feel like it's a very it's just gonna be a big building year for Denver this year, and they'll finish last in their division. And now we're gonna switch to the National Football Conference, which is the NFC, and we're gonna start with the NFC East now. In this division, we got the Cowboys, we got the Giants, we got the Eagles, and then I believe we got the Commanders. That's what it is, the Commanders. And in this division, I actually got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this division, you guys. I'm not hating. I know what you Cowboy fans are going to think. I'm not hating. Your boy is not hating. And let me explain myself. With some barbecue, you know what I'm saying? So I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning just because, they added a really great receiver in A.J. Brown to their offense. They added a really the best defensive interior lineman in the draft in Jordan Davis to complement what's his name? I know dang it. I have to look it up. I don't know why I forgot his name. Fletcher. No, not Fletcher. Cox. It's what's his name? Yeah, Fletcher Cox. Yeah, see, so I was right, yeah. Fletcher. So, you got him complimenting that. You got Nakobe Dean, who I felt like was one of the best linebackers that they were available late in the draft, and they were able to steal him. The Eagles are going to be really good, man. I really like what the Eagles got going on. Their quarterback is going to obviously be a threat, because you never know what Jalen's gonna do, and he's a stout quarterback, so he's always liked running into people. He's always liked the physicality. You got Sanders still there. You got Deion Kane there, who people don't remember too much, but he came from Clemson and he was really clutch in Clemson. So don't sleep on Kane, man. He could have a really big year. You got Devontae Smith still there, the Heisman Trophy winner, who's obviously going to come with a lot more confidence in his second year. Yeah, man, this is really good. And then they got a really good offensive line. Their defensive line, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, they're going to be really good with the rookie and the veteran right next to each other. I mean, Fletcher's going to show Jordan Davis everything, and Davis is going to destroy it. I mean, I'm really going to enjoy watching that defense this year. That's all I'm going to say. And then, they added Hassan Riddick. Their secondary is all right. Their best player is well, actually, they got two now because they added Gardner Johnson here too. Remember, you got to remember that trade. Gardner Johnson was huge for the Saints defense in the secondary. And so now you got him there with Slay. Definitely, man. Definitely do not be surprised when the Philadelphia Eagles win this division. But I do got the Cowboys following, right behind them. The Cowboys, man, like I like to see them lose, but then I feel really I don't know why, but I really do feel bad for their fans. Because man, they get so hyped every year. They have so much hope every single year. And they truly believe every single year is their year. Like, yo, this is our year. Like, this is it. And they I see it in they're one thing you can say about the Cowboys fans, they're real fans, bro. They really do care. You know what I'm saying? And they've just had these teams. I feel like the Cowboys should have at least won 3 Super Bowls in this last decade, bro. Because they had some squads, for real. At least two Super Bowls. But they had some squads sometimes where I legit was just like, how in the heck did this team not get it done? Because they had the squads. You know what I'm saying? And they still got a solid squad right now, but they just can't figure it out. They just can't figure it out how to win those close games. They really struggle in close games. If they're able to figure out how to close games, it's a wrap. I'll let you know that right now. That they would head to the Super Bowl this year if they were able to figure that out. But they lost, Amari Cooper. You never know with if Ezekiel's gonna be healthy. Their offensive line's wishy-washy right now. They just threw in Jason Peters, who played with the Eagles pretty much his whole career. Yeah, Jason Peters. What was I gonna say? And he just got added like this week, I believe. So he's gonna have to learn this whole offense, all this stuff. But that he's pretty much like some people would call him like a Hall of Fame left tackle. On the defensive side, can Diggs replicate that season that he literally just had, where he had like 10 picks or something like that, like something crazy. Like I think it was like 11 picks or something like that. Like Diggs he balled out last year, but it's not about how many, it's about in the NFL, it's about consistency, because it doesn't, anybody could have one great season, but how many great seasons can you have consecutively? Like how many times can you consistently do this? You know what I'm saying? That's what separates the greats. Let me see here. Yeah, because their receiving core, their number one is a CD Lamb, and they're followed up with Gallup. But after that, like, to me, it's like I don't really see anybody. Drummond, I feel like that guy was turning it up during the preseason. I remember seeing that name. But their tight ends, Schultz. Their offensive line's always good. They always have a really solid offensive line. Let me see here. Oh, Dante Fowler. I didn't know he went there. And then you still got DeMarcus Lawrence. But yeah, they ended Anthony Barr. Malik Jefferson. That's a good one. The linebacking core is obviously their best on defense. That's what they're really great at. Vander Esch, Malik Jefferson, like I was saying, Anthony Barr, which I think is huge, and then of course Micah Parsons, and then that's another one too. It's like, can he have a somewhat kind of season that he did last year? Because this year it's like, okay, now defenses are gonna plan against you, and now we're really gonna see how good you are. That's why I think Nick Bosa is so great, because Nick Bosa, ever since his rookie year, obviously defenses, schemes changed to block this guy, and he's still dominating. So that's why I think Nick Bosa is like he's him. He's one of them guys, bro. And with Micah, we'll find out this year if he's gonna be one of them guys, if he's gonna, if he can consistently keep on putting up those kind of numbers, or at least somewhat type of those numbers. Obviously, those kind of rookie numbers they had last year, those are crazy. They were honestly almost historic, even for a veteran, So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, their secondary, Diggs is pretty much their best one. Jordan Lewis, you got Anthony Brown. They picked up my boy Stewart from USC. You know what I'm saying? Malik Hooker. Their defense. Their secondary is just, if their defensive line can't get to that quarterback this year, it's gonna be a long year for this defense right here. But that's why I got finishing second, and then I got the Giants. Actually, no, I got the Commanders finishing third, because even though with all the discussion going on, like with the owner and all that stuff with the Commanders, I still think Rivera will still have his squad ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel like he'll have him ready. You just paid your superstar receiver, in Terry. Let me see here. You add Wentz, who I feel was at least a better option than what you did have there. A lot of people are like, oh, but Heineke. It's like, yeah, I get you. Heineke's really good too, but Wentz, he had a bad season last year with the Colts. But I still like Wentz. I still feel like he'll be all right. I still feel like he'll be good, at least decent. Like I don't think he's that bad. I really don't. He just needs to learn when to throw the ball away. Basically, that's his biggest issue. It's like just learn how to fight another day. That's all we need, bro. Learn how to fight another day. We'll be all right. But he don't play like that. He plays like every plays his last, and I enjoy it. I'll say that right now. I enjoy it. I don't hate Carson for it. Thank you for giving your all every time, bro. Excuse me. And then on the offensive side, you got the running back stable's all right, led by Gibson. The receivers, like I said, McLaurin and then Dodson, it's all right. Samuel, Ohio State. I feel like he could add something to that. Their best tight end is probably Logan Thomas, who's a former quarterback at Virginia Tech. Their offensive line, their best guy is Turner. Not Turner. Where's he at? Where'd he go? Am I tripping? Why am I going somewhere else? Because he is not on this roster no more, boys. My bad. So Turner is there. Yeah, I guess. So that's their best lineman. And then obviously their defensive line, you got Chase Young still there, who's always wreaking havoc. Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne. Their defensive line is really good. The Commanders have a really good defensive line, and that's what you need to win in the NFL. So that's why I got them finishing ahead of the Giants. The linebacking core is alright. Secondary is okay as well. Fuller and Jackson the third definitely lead that. So they're just gonna keep on building over there with the Commanders. But I got them finishing third. And then I got the Giants finishing last just because quarterback's all out of whack. They don't trust him. He knows that. You never know what you're gonna get with Barkley. You never know if he's gonna be on the field or not. The receivers ain't there. Defense ain't there. Their coaches staff ain't there. So that's why I have the Giants last, man. I just feel like they're all over the place right now. And then so now we'll move on to the NFC North. And in this division we got the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions, Marion. In this division I'm gonna surprise a lot of you on this one. In this one I'm gonna go with the Vikings actually. Just because I feel like the Packers losing Davante Adams really is a huge deal. I feel like it's getting really overlooked. Even Aaron Rodgers said, that his receivers are, kind of struggling. At least in the preseason, they were in the workouts, the camp they were. And with the Vikings, it's like they kind of got rid of, the elephant in the room, and that was, kind of like the friction there was between the head coach and Kirk Cousins. The Vikings obviously chose Kirk. So, I'm pretty sure that's a big weight off his shoulders, which is going to allow him to play freely. And then, of course, the coaching staff is going to want to, please the best players right now because, they're new. They want to make sure their best guys are taken care of, which is how it's supposed to be. They got pretty much everybody returning besides, like Anthony Barnes, stuff like that. But I feel like that they'll be a lot better this year. Like I said, I got the Green Bay Packers falling right behind them in the second place. I said just for a simple fact that I feel like it's going to be a real huge gap to fill with Davante Adams. Aaron Jones has been getting hurt quite a bit the past 2 seasons. Their offensive line has really been dinged up the last 2 seasons. It seems like Rodgers can't get like a healthy offensive line in front of him. because when they're healthy, they're really good. They're really, really good. But it's just right now they're struggling with that right now. You got Bakhtiari coming back finally, being healthy. But obviously it's going to take him a couple games to get adjusted, and to get into football health. So that's another one. On the defensive side, losing Zadarius Smith, I feel like that was huge, because I really like Zadarius, and I feel like he was doing wonders for that team. Let me see here. Yeah, he was doing wonders for that team. Obviously, as long as you have Aaron Rodgers in there, you're always have a chance, because it's Aaron Rodgers. AJ Dillon, I think, will take a huge step this year, just for the simple fact that Aaron Jones usually does get hurt, and AJ Dillon steps up big time when he does get hurt. I feel like he should be involved in their offense a lot more, honestly, which would also honestly help out Aaron Jones. But like I said, the receiving core, I mean, man, like it's gonna be tough, but I feel like his top receivers are gonna be Watkins and obviously Randall Cobb. Tight end Tunyon Lewis, he's always mentioned those guys. Like I said, their offensive line, if they stay healthy, they will be good, but that's their issue, is that they have a really hard time staying healthy right now. On defense, you still got Kenny Clark there, who has been pretty consistent. Devontae Wyatt, the rookie from Georgia. That kid's going to make some noise, so remember that name. Campbell's still there. A lot of people like Campbell. Jazarius Alexander, Rasul Douglas, or Douglas, however you would like to pronounce it. We'll see how he does. He's been balling out the past 2 years. They really like him. You had Adrian Amos is still back there. But yeah, just I don't see this team and think like, because a lot of people either have them going to the conference championship or even the Super Bowl. But I don't. I think they'll finish second in their division. I think the Detroit Lions will finish third, and the Bears will finish last. The Detroit Lions, they're building a very good foundation over there. I really like what that coach is doing over there. He's building something over there. And Jared Goff, a lot of people might not consider him the best quarterback, but he's at least a decent enough quarterback to win you the games, man. I mean, look what he did with the Rams. I mean, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl. I mean, that team's stacked, And then this team, they won a lot of games last year. Like, I ordered the NFL season pass every year, the league pass, and I watched a lot of Detroit Lions game last year, mainly because of coach, and Dan Campbell, and they were in a lot of games last year. The Lions easily could have won like 5-6 games last year, if they were able to close some of these games out, because they either had the lead or they were driving and they turned over the ball. Like, they were right there in a lot of games, guys. Like, do not sleep on the Detroit Lions. Like, really, like, they're gonna be there, man. They're gonna be a really hard team to beat every single time. And then the Bears, I definitely got them finishing last. Just like, they just got too much stuff going on. They don't got no offensive line. They let go of their best receiver. Their running back stable isn't the best. My boy Fields is constantly running for his life. I mean, I really like Justin Fields, man. I got really high hopes on that kid. I still do. Obviously their defensive line is probably all right. You got Robert Quinn still there wreaking havoc. I've always liked Robert Quinn, because I remember when he played at St. Louis and when he was with the Rams for a little bit. I mean, I don't think he was there when they made the switch to LA though. But I remember Robert Quinn. I mean, he's been terrorizing teams, bro. I like Robert Quinn. Let me see here. Who else do they got up in this? But yeah, see, like, I'm looking here. I'm not really seeing anything on the offensive side. Defensive side, I'm looking at it right now. Robert Quinn. basically it. Kyle Gordon, I'm definitely gonna check him out. Pause, because he's a rookie from Washington, so I'm gonna I heard a lot of good things about his play. Definitely gonna check him out anytime the Bears play on national television. But yeah, I definitely got them finishing last, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Bears organization and team wise. Like they're just all over the place. So they'll definitely finish last this year in that division. Which we'll move on to the NFC South. And we got the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the New Orleans Saints, boys. This division, I definitely got the Buccaneers finishing first. I mean, come on, bro. You got TB back. You got pretty much every player back. Like, there's literally no reason for them not to win the division. But then again, like, obviously what's been going on with Brady, it's going to be really hard to see if he's really fully into the season this year, just because of what he's going on, what he's got going on personally. But it's Brady. He knows how to block out all that stuff. But it could get to you. But either way, they still got a really solid squad. They missed their center, and Jensen. They're gonna miss him for a while, which is gonna suck because he was really good. They lose Ndamukong Suh, but they add what's his name? I think it was Hicks. My bad, Hicks from the Bears. Really good defensive tackle, really good. I like him. So they add him, and then hold on, let me make sure it was him. But yeah, and you still got White there. You still got David. Their secondary is really good. Their receiving core is really good. Running back stable. I mean, they're there, man. So I definitely got them winning the division, followed by the New Orleans Saints. Just because it's really, really wishy-washy which Jameson you're going to get, There's times where Jameson would throw for 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. And next game, he'll throw for 100 yards with 3 picks. Like, you just never know what you're going to get with Jameson, man. But they have a solid squad. They have a really good wide receiving core. You got Michael Thomas coming back. You got Landry there, who's back home as well, LSU boy. And then you had Chris Olave there, who was who was one of the top 2 receivers in the NFL draft. And then obviously you got a good running back core in Kamara and Ingram. On defensive side, you still got Jordan. You still got Lattimore. You got the Honey Badger there now. You got Davis there still. Like, the Saints are really good, You could easily flip-flop the Saints and the Buccaneers to win this division. I just got the Buccaneers winning the division. But the Saints are definitely going to be right behind them. In third place, I definitely would have the Atlanta Falcons. That's probably going to throw a lot of people off because they're going to be like, what? Over the Panthers? And it's like, yeah, just for the simple fact that I feel eventually Ritter is going to start, Desmond Ritter. And if not, I feel like Mariota is just good enough, man. I was watching him even in the preseason. He looked really good. You got Drake London, who's pretty much going to be a number 1 receiving option there. Their offensive line's decent, it's good. Their defense, they got some players there, they're still not going to be, really good, but I'm not saying they're going to finish, I'm not saying they're making the playoffs, they're just going to finish third in the division. You still got Garrett there, Dion there, Terrell there, or Terrell, I think that's what it is, the kid from Clemson. So they're gonna have a good building squad. They're gonna be one of those teams that they're gonna be building in the right direction, because they drafted well. And then I got the Panthers finishing last. I just feel like they got too much stuff going on in that organization as well. I feel like the whole quarterback thing, like it's not gonna fit right for either one of them. I'm pretty sure Sam Darnold don't like it at all. I mean, you got receivers and like you got own receivers saying that they don't want to play with a certain guy. You know, you literally never know when McCaffrey's gonna get hurt. The offensive line isn't that good. The secondary's all right there. You know, the secondary's all right there. The linebacking core is all right. You know, but I just feel like they're gonna finish last in this division. You know, I just definitely do. And then we're gonna go to the best division in football the past decade, which is the NFC West. And in this division, we got the 49ers, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the best team ever, the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? In this division, guys, I'm gonna have the Seahawks finishing first. I'm just fucking with y'all, man. I gotta be realistic. That's what I want to happen. You know what I'm saying? But in this division, I got the Rams finishing first. I just feel like they're just too fully loaded, bro. Too fully loaded. But they are definitely gonna be hurting on the offensive line on the left tackle position. I can't make that enough emphasis on that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's huge. I feel like that's a huge spot. You don't want to have a guy missing it. Is your left tackle position. And then you obviously lose Von Miller. But you gain Bobby Wagner, bro. So I mean, take it as you will, but I definitely got them finishing first. I definitely got the 49ers right behind them. You could honestly even make an argument flip-flop both of these teams as well. I mean, the Niners are going to be there, but with the Niners, it's just with me, the reason why I'd have them finishing second, not first, is because Jimmy's not starting. If Jimmy was starting, I would have had the 49ers first in this division this year. Because I just feel like San Fran really is that good. I really don't get the logic in San Fran. This quarterback literally took you to the Super Bowl, took you to 2 NFC championships, won one of them, and y'all trying to get rid of him? Like, you guys have been knocking on the door, like, right there for the past 4 years, 3 years, and you just want to get rid of the guy that's been taking you there and just try and get this rookie? I mean, obviously, that's just a money deal, a money thing, because, on that rookie deal that Trey Lance has, you could ball out in free agency and get really good players because you're going off a rookie contract, But, yeah, I don't get the logic when it comes to that. I would definitely start Jimmy Garoppolo. To me, it's a no-brainer. To me, that's like, Lance, you're sitting. You're going to learn from this guy as much as you can. Once his contract's up, then you could start. Kind of, just like what they did with Aaron Rodgers. Followed by the Arizona Cardinals at third, and then I got my Seahawks finishing last, guys. I hate to say that, but even though we might finish last, like, I know for a fact, like, every game is gonna be hard for the opposing opponent, and we're gonna be in a lot of games. We're just not gonna be able to close them all. That's gonna be the biggest issue with us this year. We're gonna be in a lot of games. We're just not gonna be able to close, and that's gonna be the hard part. But I don't think we're gonna be horrible like everybody expects us to be. Like, I think we're gonna be really good this year. You know what I'm saying? Not the best, but really good this year. Like, I feel like we'll be knocking on a wild card spot. You know what I'm saying? We'll be knocking right there. We won't get to the playoffs, but I feel like we'll be knocking. Like, we'll be like one of those teams that were like 2 spots away or something. From getting into the wild card or something. But yeah, and then I got the Arizona Cardinals finishing third. You got Kyle Murray still there. You got D-Hop missing a lot of this. I mean, you got him missing 6 games. That's quite a bit of games. But I still feel like the receiving core will still be all right. I mean, you had Hollywood there, who played with Murray in Oklahoma, and then you still got who's that other speedster? Is it Moore? Randall Moore, I believe. You still got Ertz there. Offensive line's good. Defensive line, you got JJ Watt, and then defense, secondary is pretty good. Linebacking core, you got Isaiah Simmons, who could pretty much just do whatever he wants. He just runs around everywhere. You got Buda Baker there. So it's a good squad. The NFC West has been the best division in football, man. It really has. Not even close. But yeah, that's who I got winning their divisions this year. Which will move on to who I think will be in the Super Bowl this year. In the Super Bowl this year, I actually got the Rams going, but I got them facing the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, and I feel the Chargers will beat the Los Angeles Rams for the Super Bowl. I feel the Chargers will win the Super Bowl this year, and I feel the MVP this year will be Justin Herbert because of it. I just think they're so good, man. I mean, I just like them. Like I really do like this squad. But then again, like I said, this is also a prediction. I'm just going off what's on paper. And on paper, this is the best team in the NFL, man. Straight up. But so we'll see. But that's who I got. It's been said. It's out in the universe. So we'll see we'll see how the NFL season turns out. But that's who I got there, winning the whole thing and playing the big game. And yeah, we're excited, guys. Football's about to be back. It's about to be on here. The game's gonna start here in an hour. So it's gonna be really awesome. It's back, and I'm definitely gonna be pulling out a lot more content for you guys because of this. Because we'll have stuff to talk about. So enjoy the game tonight, guys. Have fun. Everybody has a routine on how they watch their game and all that stuff. So let's football's back, guys. It's back to having lots of fun and having stuff to talk about and argue about, right, guys and girls? So I appreciate all you guys. I love every single one of you guys, and I will catch all you guys on the next one. Okay.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste. So you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life.